don't know, she just ignited this. Like, it was such a good thing to see before the summer tour, because I'm like, oh my God, I love my life. Like, it was really, really cool. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm joined by Zara Larsson for the latest in NME's In Conversation series. How's it going today?
Very well. I'm good. I broke my nail. But other than that, it's fantastic.
You're over here, you've just done Radio 1's big weekend in Dundee. How did that go?
Great. I thought it went amazing. I love the crowd. It was my 4th time doing it, which is absolutely insane. And I felt like it's been such a long time, obviously because of COVID, and I just haven't been on those, radio festival stages in such a long time. So I was a little nervous, I have to say, about doing that. But I was just having the best time ever with my band. It was the first show of the summer with my band. So it's also nice to feel the feel, basically, of what the summer is going to be like.
Have you got a lot of live shows booked up through the summer?
Yeah, it's all right. It's not too much. I think I'll have a solid, few shows, 1 or 2 or 3 every weekend, and then off a little bit in the weekdays. So it's kind of like a reversed job week, which is amazing. And I also get to go to really fun places. So when we go to Malta, I'll stay there for 3 days before we go to the next spot in Barcelona. We might stay there with the band for 2 days and just do stuff like that, which is really, really nice, because usually when you do a regular tour, that is one of the things that I'm sad about, that you can't stay in the city for a little longer and just experience the vibe and the people and the culture. So the summertime really opens up to do just that. Eat the food, enjoy the sun, hopefully, and just balance it out with work. A festival summer to me is one of the best things ever.
When you're over in London and you do have a little bit of free time, what do you like to go and do?
I'm such a creature of habit. I love to go to 2 favorite spots, and I always have the exact same thing, and I just sit there by myself. I don't want to go with anybody else. I want to sit by myself. I used to feel sorry for people who would go and eat by themselves, especially older people. I would just feel like, oh, that's so sad. But now I'm like, you are living the right way. It's just nice. I love to go shopping by myself. I just really like to spend time by myself when I'm in the city. I have a few friends here, so I might see them. But a day off, perfect day off. I wake up kind of late. I have breakfast in bed. I get ready. I go out. I go and take a Thai massage. Yes. I just want them to walk all over my back. When I'm done with that, I'll have a nice ramen. I will walk around a bit more. Maybe buy something, pair of slippers maybe, and then I'll go to Rocca.
Can you go and sit in a restaurant by yourself and not be asked for a selfie though? Or is someone going to spot you?
Yeah, it happens sometimes where people, come up to me and they want to take a picture, but that's just so fine to me. It's super chill, and the only time I'm like, oh, is when I look like absolute shit. When I really didn't expect to even go outside, and something happened and I had to. Yeah, I'm living my life very normally. I think also there's levels to it, obviously, and I never have people following me around. I've never encountered paparazzi here, or in Sweden it's not even a thing. But sometimes people come up and they want to take a picture, or just say hey, love your song, which is always great to me. I've never really been bothered by that, which is why I think it's I feel like I picked the right career, But I'm also saying that not having my privacy really invaded that. So I don't really know what that's like. But on the level I'm at right now, it's just really nice meetings with people, and then I could just go on about my day. It's not that big of a deal.
It's not intrusive.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You have a banger of a new single out, End of Time.
Yeah.
What story are you trying to tell with that song?
So the story itself is, you know, a love song. It's about loving somebody until the end of time. It's quite dramatic and almost cinematic in a way. It's beautiful lyrics. Casey Smith wrote it with Rick Nowels, who I've worked with a lot on this album, both of them. So they were in the studio one time when I wasn't there, and they played me the song, and I just loved it. But with the video, I wanted to portray another message that it is about a love for someone, but it could be a love for something. And I wanted to show the love of performing and singing and dancing and kind of go back to the days where I used to be in my bedroom and like sing in front of the mirror. That's all I would do. Like that's all I would do. And that's sometimes still something I do. When I'm at home by myself, I just put the headphones in and I'm like to the mirror and I can stand there for hours.
To your own songs or to someone else's?
It's both. Yeah, now I finally have my own songs. But growing up, it would just be like Beyoncé, 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 Christina Aguilera, and just like a form of escapism from everyday life, but also maybe in a way of like manifesting or just dreaming and having these big goals. And that's what the video is basically. It's a younger version of myself, or it's about someone who loves music or loves to dance and sing, and maybe they listen to me and feel inspired, or it could be, I never really think there's like one way of looking at something. I think whatever you feel like is correct. But to me, that was like, okay, I wanted to do a video about how I felt when I was younger, because yeah, they might, you know, I say in the second verse, like, they might think I'm insane, and maybe I am, but I just love you. And that could be a love to the younger me, or a love to singing, because I will probably do this until the end of my time, because I just have so much fun doing it. And I'm really lucky that I've been doing it for such a long time, and I'm still young, so I have many options to explore. But like music and performing it's my first love. It's my first true love.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you've worked a lot with Rick Nowels on the album. How did that collaboration come about? Because he's known for working with like Stevie Nicks back in the day, and then more recently Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, no, he has worked on quite a few pop records. I mean, he's such like, he started way before I was born, like in the 80s, like Heaven is a Place on Earth, and all these bangers with Madonna. He done a few, I know he has a song with Dua Lipa. I think like he has so many plaques on the wall that I'm just like, sick. You know, I just walk through his studio and it's incredible. I don't actually remember how it came about, like how we connected. I'm pretty sure it was thanks to my A&R, Zeke. I'm so happy it happened, because he is one of the most passionate men I have ever met in my life. And he's, as I said, he's been doing this for a while. Like it's not him just being hungry for success or like a #1 or a platinum record. Like he's had plenty of those. It's something in him that I hope is gonna stay with me also until I reach that age where he just walks into the studio and he's like, we're gonna write a fucking #1. Like, you know what I mean? He's so hungry and he's so invested. I've never met a producer and a writer who has been, you know, calling in strings for a demo, or he would call somebody to do like the piano just for this part because he really feels like he's so into it, and he really have been given so much time and energy and effort into this project for many of the songs that I have on the upcoming album. And it's also been really nice to have that group of people, and I love how he works. I love that it's not too many people in the room. I love that he pushes me, and he has allowed me to kind of find my own voice in a way, because when it's just me and him and maybe one other writer or like an engineer, and I say, well, you know, Rick, what about we would do this? And he's like, no. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, no. I'm like, yes. And he's, no. I say, yes, Rick. Like, he kind of started a little fire in me with like, I'm gonna stand up for myself, which I have previously thought was kind of a hard thing to do in writing rooms because, you know, I don't know, like, you have so many hits, like, you know what's best. But I'm like, it's my record. And vice versa, you know. He's like, well, let's do this. And I'm like, no. And he's like, yes. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. And he said, yes. And I said, no, Rick. Like, we just go back and forth. And I feel like it pushes us to a place where I previously haven't been creatively, or just how I feel, like walking out of the studio, like, we did a really good song. And even though I didn't write End of Time, just like creating the record with him, and obviously he wrote the song for me with Casey because, you know, we were working on the project. It's just a really, really good experience, and I'm gonna take that with me for the rest of my life probably, and just like, okay, cool, this is how I like to work. Like, it taught me this, it taught me that. And I think it's also together with like growing up a little bit, growing older, finding my voice more and more. He definitely helped me with that. So I'm super thankful for his part in this project.
Is the album completely finished?
Not completely. It's not done until it's done, but it's pretty much there, I would say. It's hard because I don't know, like, about features and stuff. I'm still thinking about that and exactly what songs to have because we have so many. But I would say like 85%.
How would you say it's different to your last album, Poster Girl? Like, in what ways have you kind of progressed, would you say?
I would say it's a little bit, it actually allows me to not, because Poster Girl was very fun, which was a perfect time in my life to have that sort of fun, especially since we had the pandemic. It was just nice to, kind of like what I've been doing growing up, you know, kind of escape into that world of like, ooh, you know, it was pink, it was fun and pop. This is still pop, but it has an element of kind of stillness to it as well. There's definitely some songs on there that are very raw and they feel like a bit naked. And it's a bit more dynamic. I think there's songs with like a hard-hitting bass, like a club banger, and then there's songs with one piano track and one vocal track, and they feel very vulnerable. So I think it's a little bit more daring in not being one thing, which is honestly very me, like personal, and I think it's relatable. I think there's something for everyone in there. And I wouldn't say it's a concept album at all, because the only thing that's really, me and Rick, we had a lot of talks about this, and he's like, I just feel like it should be a collection of really good songs, and the red thread is me, like, it's my voice. And yeah, a lot of the songs I'm really like, I'm like singing a lot more, I would say, like vocally, just like using my voice.
Has Rick kind of become like an exec producer on the album? Is that how it's kind of turned out? Or am I putting a title that he hasn't earned yet?
Right? I mean, he's definitely been a huge influence of creating it. And it's also nice because even the songs that even the songs that he didn't do, obviously, since we've worked so much together, we kind of created the foundation of what I would like to do. But it's like a little bit all over the place, which I love, which I feel like my first album, So Good, was kind of like that too. And again, as I said, it's very me. It's very me to do a little bit of that, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. And then I would just try to visually create a story around the tracks and visually create a world, because everything is so visual these days. You know, you have your screen in your hand all the time. So whenever you want to watch something, I want it to feel like. And then I can't forget that all the tracks with Rick have also been co-produced by Danja, which is just like amazing. A really incredible combination of like star producers. So he just knows what he's doing, and he just makes it sound really big and amazing.
Why was Can't Tame Her the right song to kind of kickstart this era for you?
I think it was the attitude in it. I think it felt like instant. It kind of just hits you right away. It felt confident. It was fun. It was something that I wanted to embody for the album in terms of like how I feel when I listen to it and sing it, but also for like the rest of the year. I felt like I wanted to be that girl, you know, I wanted to tap into that energy and just feel like nobody can tell me anything. Like I can do whatever I want and like that. And then I think it was just that it's, yeah, like I said, it's very instant. It takes you back to a place where my mom has been going out in the clubs in like the the early 80s. And it definitely has that retro sounding all over it, but it was still fresh. I just thought it was a good song. Honestly, sometimes I think I don't want to overthink things too much, or like analyze things or look at what other people are saying. For a lot of the songs that has been doing well for me are just songs that I listen to and I think that's a good song. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's just that, and that is more than a reason to release something sometimes. I mean, all the time.
You went to the opening night of Beyonce's Renaissance tour and the second night?
Yeah.
So you went 2 nights in a row?
Yeah, of course.
What I was wondering, because I guess not many people were lucky enough to go 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Did you notice different things about the show each time? Did it feel very different each night?
Well, she definitely changed some bits up. She did. Not only the costumes, but like the set list. I noticed that she cut some things from the second show. And I think she just kind of switches it up depending on where she is, depending on what. Obviously, she did the Tina Turner tribute here in London because of what happened with Tina's passing. And stuff like that. Like, I think she has the framework of the show, but then she's been doing this for such a long time, and I think the people she works with are so quick and well, I don't think they have a choice. They just kind of have to be. If she's like, I want to do this, you just got to get on it. But yeah, she did change it up a little bit, and I know if I did that would stress my band out. But she's Beyonce. She can do whatever she likes. And it was absolutely incredible. I loved seeing it 2 times because it's about 3 hours that you're sitting there. And time really flew by for me. And it was just so much information because the budget is unlimited for this tour. So, you know, she just like shoves things in your face for 3 hours. And you're like, oh my God, it's so much happening, it's amazing. But that's why it was really, really nice to kind of have the second day to sit back and like take it all in. And really, that's what's actually what made me understand like how good the show truly was. Because it's a lot of things that are happening. But everybody who knows me knows that she's my biggest inspiration and the best artist in the world.
When you go and see her, can you kind of, when you get there, is it easy for you to kind of go into fan mode, or are you kind of thinking of the mechanics of the show and thinking like...
I'm fan mode.
You can forget about how it's all put together.
100%.
Okay.
I'm fan mode, definitely. And she's kind of like the only person in the world who would still have that effect on me, which is nice. And I kind of want to keep it that way because there's something magical about going to a show and just being in complete awe of whatever's happening in front of you and to just emerge into that experience and just hear the voice and see what's going on. It is such a nice thing to be in a crowd watching something that you really enjoy, and I love that. And I love it's incredible that I get to be like on the stage and kind of have the same job and do that for other people and like experiencing a song together with a crowd. But like being in a crowd is one of my favorite things in the world. I just love going to festivals. I love going to shows. I hope I will always be a fan of just music. But Beyonce really, like, she just takes me there. And I felt so inspired and I felt so motivated to, like, I don't know, she just ignited this. Like, it was such a good thing to see before the summer tour because I'm like, oh my God, I love my life. Like, it was really, really cool. Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this question because you've spoken about it in the past, but I'm going to ask anyway. Eurovision's coming to Sweden next year, and it's also the 50th anniversary of ABBA's iconic win. Would that make you tempted to maybe throw your hat into the ring and do Melfest, or is it still a no?
It's still a no, but I would love to have, like, you know, what do they call it? The little act.
Yeah, like an interval act. Yeah.
Would love that. Like, I'm a really big fan of Eurovision. Like, I watch it every year. You know, it's like a part of Swedish culture. It truly is. Melfest, Melodifestivalen, and Eurovision then later. So I and my boyfriend like dances on that show every year.
It's an amazing show.
Yeah, it is. It's really fun, and yeah, I would love to be a part of it, but I don't think I would want to be a part of the competition. I'm also really scared because, like, I'm doing quite well, you know, in my life, and I'm like an artist. What would happen if I didn't even get to the finals?
Yeah,
they just voted me out. Like,
it'd be a disaster
like
for a Swedish
like,
artist.
oh wow, that's the end of my career. Like, that's crazy.
Sweden's now won 7 times, which is like joint record with Ireland. They've caught up and they've had an amazing record, especially over the last 2 decades. Why do you think Sweden's so good at Eurovision? Is it with Melfest taking it seriously?
I think so. We take it very seriously. Like, this is the biggest show in Sweden. Year after year, it truly is a part of our culture. Why do we take it so seriously? I think we just we love music, and we love a good show. We do. We might not express it every time in the crowd because we're a little shy and we're very aware of, like, our surrounding, and we don't want to bother anyone, but we love that side of entertainment, and Sweden has been good at it for a while. So I think if somebody is repeatedly telling you, like, you are amazing, you are amazing, you're amazing, I think you start to believe in it. So which is a great thing. And I think internationally Sweden is quite well known for, like, the pop, even rock or EDM, with producers and writers and artists. So I think it kind of opened the doors and fueled the confidence of a lot of writers and artists and that. But yeah, definitely Melfest is probably the reason why we're doing so well.
Yeah, I mean, the standards, I feel like some of the songs that, like, don't even make it to the final would be good enough to compete at Eurovision. The songwriting is just insane.
And a lot of the songs are, like, genuinely, we always have some sort of, like, fun song in there too, but majority are, like, proper good songs for sure.
It's been, I was quite surprised by this, but it's been 8 years since your UK breakthrough single, Lush Live.
And
you'd released stuff in Sweden before that as well.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say, like, have you changed as an artist in that kind of, let's say, 8 to 10 years?
It's so hard to say. It should be easy, like, looking back at it, because it's been like 10 years since I released my first song in Sweden. So quite some time have flown by. But I think it's kind of like, I don't know, how have I changed as a person in these 10 years? I think it's more like internally how I feel about myself, how I stand up for myself, how I like to work, more than I notice a difference in the sound of what I'm doing. Because I still listen to my first record, One, that's only out in Scandinavia, and I'm like, this shit slaps. Like, it's so good. And I think my old song sometimes inspires me, like, to this day. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like hits on hits on hits. And I love that for me. And then I sometimes can understand that, yeah, well, maybe I wouldn't have put this specific song on this record that I did 2014 out today, but I love it for what it is or what it stands for. How have I changed? I don't know. I have to be honest. I don't know. And I'm just trying to still find myself, and I find what I think is good. But I think that's all right. Maybe I'll do a concept album or like an era thing. But no, I just really want to make good songs. Like, it's that simple, and express my emotions or like tell a story and like relate to people. I just want to be relatable in some sense. Sometimes I'm like, oh, why am I not mysterious and sexy? But that's just not me as a person. Like, some people are and some people aren't, and I'm not. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's ask me in 10 years again.
Yeah, we'll do this in 2033.
Yeah.
Yeah. You bought back your catalogue
Yeah.
last year. Like, A, what made you want to do that? Why was that important to you? And B, how difficult was it to kind of make that deal happen? Was that a really kind of
It took a
tricky
long
jigsaw?
time. Yeah. It took like many years. And I have to give, huge thanks to my manager, Roger Ames. Huge thanks to Ola Håkansson, who was selling it to me. And of course to Sony, and I wasn't the person who was sitting there like, I have these demands and I have my contract that I wrote up. Like, my lawyers obviously had a huge part of it, but Roger was really, he's a G. Like, he was really the one who was telling my lawyers what to say and what to do. Like, I'm so happy that he's my manager because he is a beast in like the best way possible. Yeah, Ola Håkansson basically wanted to sell the company. He's at an age where he just wants to chill and enjoy life, and he deserves it. He's such a legend in the Swedish music industry. And he just called me up and asked me if I was interested in buying my music. And I said, of course. And not a lot of people get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it was like constructed as I was signed to 10, my record label, when I was 13, 14. And then they licensed my music to Sony. So Sony is still licensing my music, but like I own it. So I'm not completely independent, but I hold the power of my songs, which is such an incredible feeling, because he has just seen what happened with Taylor Swift, and he was just like, that is the worst thing I could imagine. And it is so weird that artists aren't in power of their music. Like, even just signing a contract and getting signed to a label is like, well, I guess I don't own my songs that I'm creating or that I'm singing, because even songs that I didn't write, I would just have no authority over. And now I'm housing them at my record label, and I can do whatever I want with them. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything, but at least it's up to me. Because Lush Life, that I didn't write, for example, which is one of my like biggest songs still in my career, such a part of who I am as an artist, of my identity. So yeah, it's really nice to have that. And obviously Taylor Swift is one of the biggest stars of the planet, so she could take back her power in re-recording all her songs, which I think is brilliant. But it's just like, why does she have to do that, you know? Yeah, it's definitely a nightmare situation to be in, where you're like, I don't want my songs to be sold to this person or to this company who isn't even interested in me or what I have to say. They just want to make money off of it. I'm just very happy that he just called me up and said, I would love for you to have them if you like. But it took a lot of time. It did, yeah.
So now you have that ownership. Say like an offer comes in, someone wants to put Lush Life on a TV advert or a film or TV show. Is it now totally your decision?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which is sick. Amazing. And just to also have that, like, obviously I get a way bigger percentage of the earnings. And I won't maybe not see the benefit of it like this year, but my kids will, It's just nice to have that security. And if we're making like a deal, I'm just in a better position. Yeah.
Gives you more agency.
Yeah.
What are your aims for the rest of the year? What are you kind of manifesting for between now and December?
My record's coming out. Straight to number 1. I would love to do a tour, at least maybe start something later this year. That's really my number 1 goal, to just get my album out, to really work that. I would love to see it do as well as possible. And then to take that album out on a tour, because I haven't done, even Poster Girl, I never got the chance to really do like a proper tour. We couldn't really find like a good time
You just did Scandinavia, didn't you? For
Yeah,
Place
it was
to Go,
like
yeah.
a very small thing. But now after this album comes out, I'm definitely ready to do, you know, Europe, America, hopefully South America. We'll love to go to Asia, Australia, any show, like just all over the world. Africa, if they call me and wants me there, I'll be there. I want to go everywhere with this album. So yeah, let's see.
Amazing. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank
really fun.
you.
Cheers.
Thank you so fun.